my name is Angela Pauline Camins-Wieneke. I took international marketing major in PR and advertising. My final degree was with Preston University. That was around 2008. I'm currently the lead for employee engagement at SM Supermalls. We are based in Mall of Asia complex, so that's where our head office is. Being in SM Supermalls is not my first job though. I've been around for 13 years, and the industries that I've been in have pretty much, it's funny because now I'm in SM, I just feel like I went around with the industry that I was in. So my first job was in property management. So we were managing office buildings. And then that same company got me connected with hotels because they also had a hotel business, which eventually connected me to F&B. I started something for that company as well in the food side of the business, which got me connected to the next side of my work, which was full-blown restaurants. And then that experience with restaurants got me into SM Supermalls because at the time, I was now in business development. With that, we were changing something with the food courts, transforming them into food halls. So if you see the more upgraded designs, so I was part of that. And then eventually from operations, because of a big culture change that we were gunning for at SM Supermalls, I became part of this transformation program for work-life integration. And then now I'm full-blown in HR. It's funny because now what I do is I'm back to property management as the business, but I'm also back to doing a lot of, if it's not marketing, but you're now marketing a message, right? You're an internal message. So, and transforming, teaching. There's a lot. One of the biggest things is, despite being a scholar myself, I also happen to be a young mother. So there was a time when I actually had to take my maternity leave. And despite that, the school supported me all the way, still kept my scholarship intact, and welcomed me with open arms. So when I came back from my maternity, so that was one thing that helped me a lot. And during my last year with Southville, I was able to schedule my subjects all in a day. One of my mentors there actually connected me with my first employer, who also was very supportive of me being a working student. So although they had 6 days of work, they were fine with me just going to work for 5 days and still considered me a full-time employee, not just an intern. So I got my first break in the industry while I was still studying with Southville because of one of my mentors as well. I also wanted to give a shout out, in case you're still a prof there. So that was Miss Grace. She's an author also. So she was the one who patched me up with my first employer. So when it comes to highs, I think that's a great connection because she's very good friends with another mentor of mine. So that's Miss Yai Olmedo. The highest, definitely, I think in every single year that I was in Southville, we always won in the Philippine Marketing Association of the Philippines. And it was great because in the first year, so we won third place. And then on the second year, we won second place. And then on the final year where I was the captain, that's when we won the championship. That's a very proud moment, especially because we were battling it out with other schools that probably locally here in the Philippines had bigger names. I mean, we beat UP LaSalle, Ateneo. So I think that's really something that we can be proud of, that you don't have to be a school that's been there for 100 years or decades to be able to provide quality output, winning output that actually gets recognized by those who are in the industry already. For the low points, honestly, I don't really remember if there would be any low points. Even in the context of me being a young mom at that time, You could say that it was a little more challenging than my other classmates. Of course, I had responsibilities earlier already in life, but I can't say that it's a low point because I've always felt supported by everyone. I honestly cannot name for the life of me a low point when I was in Southville. Maybe just the traffic going there from where I was, but that's just about it. Again, if there's anything that I felt like I missed out on in terms of your typical college life, it's probably because during that time, Southville was a lot smaller. So I understand it's a much bigger college now. You've got more facilities already. But ours is really just a business school. There weren't any like big fields with lots of trees and things like that. So I guess that's the only thing that probably I missed had I chosen a different school. But it's such a minor setback that I can't still name it as a low point either. Well, there were a lot of presentations, even our exams. Again, I don't know if the exams are the same now, but imagine that you had the whole semester, but then your whole grade is on how well you answer just 5 questions. A subject from an American college, that's even harder because you only have 3 questions, like your whole grade, right? Or a big chunk of your grade is just spent on how well you answer those 3 questions. And you have to study for the whole semester. You have to study the whole book, more or less. That was a little challenging, but again, it wasn't as challenging for me, I guess, compared to others. Maybe because I had a natural predisposition with writing. That was good, and examples, all of those. I had my own technique on how to prepare, so it wasn't so bad. It was just funny because even a subject like business math had an essay, but again, not a low point and not much of a challenge as well. And one thing that I really liked about that is because I do training as well, and even I did that back in high school. You have your true or false, you have your multiple choice. So with a true or false, if you don't know and you didn't prepare, you have a 50% chance every single time to get it right. And then the probability goes on with a multiple choice, A, B, C, D. But with an essay, it is so apparent if you're not prepared, because you're probably going to be the type, just to meet the length requirement, you're just going to switch the same sentence and rephrase it 3 or 4 times just to meet the length requirement. And the prof will see right through you. So that was great. It was a great preparation with the real world, especially when you have a real boss already who's probably like 3 or 5 steps ahead of you. So it really trains you to be prepared and to do your homework. If I had a message, it's probably going to be always ask why. And why? Because when I started working, it so happened that even from my first work, remember the one that got me connected because of Southville, I was always in a position where I was working on something that was entirely new for that company. So it was probably, you could say, even if I was with established companies, I was always doing the startup side of things. So either it was a new side of the business to launch, or it was a new brand that we would be bringing into the Philippines, or it was a new program that was going to change the culture of the company. So a lot of times when you're met with something that's new, you don't have a playbook. You don't have someone telling you this is how you do step A, B, C, D, right? So you're pretty much left to think and map out the rest of the journey ahead. And if you get lost, the best thing that you can really look at is to ask why. If you know the purpose behind that new product, that new program that you have to bring in, that grounds you, it really helps you know the end in mind. So that way, if you know what you're supposed to hit, what you're supposed to produce, the result, then you can backtrack from there and see, okay, so because I know the why, I'm now starting to learn the what, and then I'm going to map out the how. So that's one big thing. And the reason I'm saying this now, especially for someone who's just probably choosing schools, right? So is because answering the question why isn't just something that's going to help you at work. It's not just something that's going to help you with a new project that you're probably doing right now in school, but it's really going to help you navigate how your life is going to be. If you're at the point when you're asking yourself what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying that the degree that you choose or the college that you choose will already, force fit everything else that's going to happen in your life. But again, it's a big decision. So you ask yourself, why do you want this course? Why are you going into this school? If you can really dig down deep within you, and then you can find what makes you feel most alive, and then you see that, hopefully you see that in something that Southfield can offer, then you're already setting yourself up for success. An example would be, there was time when somebody asked me, when do you feel most alive? I was looking back with everything that I've done, and I realized that I felt most alive. Like I felt like, wow, I am here. They say words like flow. I was in that state. Each time I was creating something. Each time I was building something from what you thought it was, and then transforming it to where it will be. And regardless of the work, and guys, we haven't even talked about how my career since leaving Southville, but I've spanned from marketing, and then moving on to food and beverage operations, and then now I'm in HR, so it just really goes around. But in all of those times, I felt most alive when I was transforming something. And that person helped me craft a mission statement for myself. And my mission statement is, I am a game changer. So you can always change the game. So in that way, again, it's always helped me out. It's my why. My reason for being is to be a game changer. So each time that I'm lost, like I don't know, okay, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Then I ask myself, am I changing the game when I'm doing this? If there's a roadblock ahead, sometimes there are projects or programs that just take forever to move forward, and you can feel demoralized. Then you remind yourself, I am a game changer. This is my why, and I have to change the game. I hope that really helps anyone, whether you're still choosing schools or you're already working. I hope it's something that enlightens you in some way.